Hi, I'm Monica Miller, the Legal Director and Senior Counsel here at the American Humanist Association, and this is Legal Tuesdays, where I answer your questions about separation of church and state. The question I will take today comes from our online complaint form, and it is, do you think Mississippi's challenge to Roe v. Wade in the Supreme Court will succeed? Unfortunately, I am not feeling the most optimistic about this lawsuit. This is both because this is the most conservative Supreme Court we've seen, and not just that it's conservative by virtue of the opinions that we've seen come out of these justices, but also because three of them are appointed by President Trump, who made it his mission to stack the Supreme Court with justices that were favorable to the aims of federal society and specifically anti-abortion rights. So this isn't promising, but at the same time, there are some clues that the Supreme Court might not completely do away with Roe versus Wade, but I don't think it's a good sign that they did not halt the enforcement of SB 8, Texas's statute that deputizes private citizens and allows them to recover attorney's fees and $10,000 for reporting anyone suspected of performing an abortion on someone after six weeks or after the, quote, fetal heartbeat is detected, which is medically refuted. But Justice Alito did clarify at a Notre Dame speech that he, in the Supreme Court, in no way intended or signaled that they would be overturning Roe versus Wade by not blocking SB 8. Legal scholars that are very immersed in abortion litigation are also not sure how the Supreme Court's going to go. So you're really this is a little bit of guesswork. I will add that historically, abortion issues were Republican. In other words, the Republicans, Nixon, and I think Rockefeller and several states with Republican governors were actually in favor of making abortion, part of a woman's right to choose. And that's consistent with Republican Party lines, which condemn sort of government overreach. And what could be more of a government overreach than something like SB 8, which deprives a woman of her bodily autonomy in the most, really egregious and flagrant way. It's a really sad state of affairs right now that women that are well off are perhaps able to flee and go to other states, but these laws impact directly more women of color and those with lesser means that aren't able, or undocumented citizens who are not able to easily cross state lines and go get a medical procedure in other states. So we're very concerned. We're watching this closely. We filed amicus briefs. I'm giving talks on some of these issues. And as far as what you can do, we can hopefully you can keep supporting our efforts at the American Humanist Association, spreading the word about what our work is and what we do. We work with all these other groups that are fighting church-state separation and working with Planned Parenthood and ACLU, and we're all on the same team. So it's hard to think of what any of us can do sometimes, but continuing to support us and continuing to check in and be involved, at least at this level, is all we can ask right now. So thank you for the question, and I look forward to talking to you in the next segment of Legal Tuesdays.